Have you ever looked back at a moment and thought, why did I react like that? That replay, that regret, that wish for a second chance? We all know it. We react quickly, not because we're weak, but because nobody taught us how to manage what we feel and how to plan for those moments. Today, we're breaking down a few reflections and insights about emotional management. The ones would have saved us a lot of trouble earlier in life. The moments we regret usually come from 1 second. The second we lost control. Some people say it's just a reflex, and honestly, they're right. Our body reacts faster than a part of our brain that thinks clearly. That's why we snap. The difference between a reaction and response is simple. Whether we take a moment to think before we act. In that tiny gap, that breath, that 1 second, if you ask me, I think it's one of the hardest skills to build. I like to call that gap the magical pause. Some of us might think that people who can stay calm are just calm by nature. But you know what? Most of them aren't in the beginning. It is not the pause that keeps us calm. It is the pause that creates calm. It is the space we evaluate instead of attack, where our words shift, our tones soften, and where we get to decide whether we show up as the version of ourselves that we're proud of. It's called the magical pause because it doesn't need to be long. It only takes 1 second, but it buys enough time for our mind to catch up with our reflexes. I bet you heard of us saying something like, prepare for a rainy day. You see, if we don't plan for our chaos will plan for us. Think about it. Have you ever wished a similar situation had turned out differently? Sometimes we hope for a different outcome, yet we react exactly the same way over and over again. And that's why I like if-then plans. I plan beforehand. It's simple. If this happens, I respond like this. Using the magical pause and if-then plans doesn't mean we're trying to predict the worst. It just means we're not letting the same patterns drag us in circles. Also, managing emotions isn't about perfection. We're not robots. The whole point is about alignment. Trying to match our values with the way we show up. We'll never be able to control everything. People's moods, timing, your tones, the atmosphere. But our choices and effort, they stay ours. So here are a couple reflections I ask myself when I plan my if-then plans. I ask myself, what do my reactions usually look like? What boundaries or triggers led to those outcomes? And how can that magical pause help me respond better next time? The point of the pause and the if-then plan is simple. To increase the odds of walking away with fewer regrets and a bit more control over how we show up in those hard moments. Some days we get it right, some days we don't. But we try. We try to meet chaos with clarity, steadiness, and honesty. Because the way we respond in those small moments eventually shapes the version of ourselves we grow into. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe and hit the like button, comment down below and let me know. And if you're interested in more self-improvement videos, go check out this one and let me know what you think. See you in the next video. Bye!